Brock's Lesnar and he's okay. He sleeps all night and hunts all day. He kills a giant 2,000-pound moose and names it after Adam Pearce. I'm John Retton with my review of WWE Smackdown from the Staples Center. And oh, I know that I completely ruined that whole I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. I had to do my own rendition and then butcher it at the end. But them's the breaks. Let me know your thoughts on this show in the comments, please. And remember when LA used to host good wrestling shows? The Staples Center. This one's hosted pay-per-views. It's hosted Lakers games and a whole bunch of, goddamn great events and concerts and things and whatever. And it hosted this Smackdown. They had some moments that were fine, and then the rest was just kind of there. Anyway, so Sami Zayn's there in a wheelchair with two male nurses that looked like they could have lifted him and half the goddamn front row and said, "Here, we need more space. Move, bitch, get out the way." So anyway, he says, I could have won last week. I could have been a contender. Look how they massacred my boy. No, he said, it took Brock and Roman. It took both of them to beat me down and everything, and now, because of this, I'm going to have to sue everybody. Sue everybody. Everybody in the goddamn building, even the popcorn vendors. Don't know what the fuck they did, because they weren't even at the goddamn show last week, Sammy, you idiot. But anyway, the piped and boos were fucking horrendous. And then here's Heyman to talk about his people, and Walt Disney was spinning in his eternal place in hell, if you know what I mean. Herb Abrams, let's hear it for Heyman's people. So, now that I've pretty much tuned everybody out from that particular audience, let's talk about how Sami Zayn kept cutting them off, and cutting them off, and cutting them off. Roman's not here, and he stands up out of the wheelchair. He can walk. It's a miracle. My God, it's a miracle. And he says, I'm a premier athlete. Tony Nese is shaking his fist and his 8 abs in rage, and says, I could kick your head off. And nobody's here to save you. And then here's Bork. It's Bork Angeles, which is actually a pretty goddamn good, piece of business. I'll say that right there for Pat McAfee, who has a whole lot of money from something called FanDuel. I didn't even know what the fuck FanDuel was until somebody told me about it yesterday, which shows just how much I'm in on the sports betting technology. So anyway, Bork has a chair, and then he's like, how you doing, buddy? The whole Bork laser thing will never die. It will never die because Brock just seems like a goddamn meathead, hence the Bork name. How you doing, buddy? He just mocks Sammy and everything. He's like, well, you weren't going to beat Roman last week or whatever. I did that and everything. I did it for you. He's like, are you saying you did it like you were thinking 2 steps ahead? Yeah, you get it. He's just totally playing him like a goddamn fiddle, knowing he's going to beat his ass. And he's just, he talks about, where are you from? We're two Canadians, we're two Canadian, badasses and everything. And he's Montreal. He tries to speak French and everything, and we don't all speak French up there, Sammy says. Even though I know Sammy can, I believe, I'm pretty certain Sammy can. Sammy speaks like 3-4 different fucking languages. And Owen's absolutely fluent in French and English, especially when he just decides to taunt the crowd when he's a heel, or, be, showered in their massive, throbbing adulations. I almost said the other word in any Canadian province. So anyway, then, he's gonna take him out hunting and everything. He's talking about it, but well, no, I'm a vegan. I need to talk to you about that. And Heyman says, I must have spent too much time at the dispensary because the edibles are kicking in. This isn't the beast. This isn't the beast incarnate. The man who could be the future reigning, defending Universal Heavyweight just went right back into being the advocate and everything. And then Brock destroys the male nurse. Well, he throws one out. One looks like he's going to fight him. Looks like he's actually probably a trainee. Brock lays him out, and then Brock just, throws Sammy, F5s him, and that's it. So that pretty much ate up like the first 15 minutes of television. Unfortunately, it was pretty much the highlight of the show. So, and then Bork says to Kayla, well, you want to know? Why don't you ask my advocate, Paul Heyman? Just plenty more seeds and everything, sprinkling his seeds all over Kayla. Saw that going differently in my head. Moving on. So Nakamura and Boogs beat Los Lostarios, who are Humberto, Ricky Humberto Martin, if you will, and Don't Call Me Angel Garza. And they beat him in about 5 minutes. It might not even been that. That's all I gotta say. So New Day, the Viking Raiders, Gulak, Mansoor, and Ricochet asking, why is he so bald? So they were back there and there was a table, and we go to a break. A crowning moment. Oh my God, a crowning moment for Xavier on camera. Again. So, it was apparently made from magical unicorn wait, no, I'm sorry, that was something else. Unicorn horns. You know, you probably shouldn't talk about all that shit, harvesting unicorn horns. Man, that didn't work out so well in Legend. If you've seen Legend, check out my review of that. I actually forgot I reviewed it. Weird movie. Weird time for Tom Cruise's career when he actually seemed human. So, Drew McIntyre has a sword out. Pierce says you can't take it to the ring. So Drew hastily inserts his sword into Pierce's wood. Ow. And Pierce, because he is not from the Sword of the Stone, community, the Sword of the Stone community, since he is not a, grouchy old man, since he's not the old woman that can turn into a dragon, because I forgot her name, even though I own the movie and I have Disney Plus and I need to retro review that. He can't pull it out. He's gripping and jerking on Drew's shaft and he just can't get it off. Stop thinking about it. You know who you are. Stop thinking about it. So, Cesaro's watching backstage for this next match. Tony and Sasha are talking. Pie back's a bitch. They are gonna fucking cut Tony's legs off out from under her, and she is not even that tall to begin with. Super nice though. Man, they're still making Tony go with this whole pie thing, where she's just gonna keep pie facing women. Anyway, Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. They are continuing to just, brutalize and fist each other. They took turns beating each other off from behind as two thick men from two different countries just beat each other senseless, club each other, thick, meaty men, massively throbbing against each other and everything. Might as well make this as uncomfortable as possible. And eventually a Claymore for 3. Not bad. A condensed version of what they did on Raw and on pay-per-view is what it is. So Corbin and Moss steal the desk with the sword. Why? Because apparently Ginger's feud with Drew over the goddamn sword wasn't bad enough. Let's do it with somebody infinitely less interesting than Jinder. Do you know how bad you have to be less interesting than Jinder? Good job there, Corbin and Moss, you fucking idiots. So anyway, Blackjack lands a tribute video for all of 80 seconds. Almost 3 decades condensed into 80 seconds. But rest in peace, Blackjack Lanza. One half of one of the best tag teams in the territory days, him and Blackjack Mulligan, who did have tremendous success as singles wrestlers, and Lanza, of course, working with Bobby Heenan, and the feud that they would eventually have when they split from Heenan with Bruiser and Crusher and stuff like that. And actually Heenan being on the other side, like that was a time when they were actually really hot. But then they would have Heenan, be the heel, and Lanza would kind of be, the authoritarian babyface near the end of his career, but rest in peace. Mulligan passed away, I believe, in 2016. He was late 70s, early 80s, and Lanza with 86. So at least he got to live a full life. Naomi entrance to face Sonya and break. And then Kayla keeps scaring. I need somebody to look at me like Kayla looks when she scares Paul Heyman. I'd like to have Kayla look at me like that, but I just wish Kayla would pull her head out of her ass when it comes to her Twitter. But Kayla is really enjoying herself when it comes to just basically scaring Paul Heyman. And we get recaps of it. Well, Heyman kind of died around it. Well, Kayla's like, what do you think will happen, when Roman hears about this? Roman isn't going to hear about this. I got to go. I didn't realize what I did. So we get recaps of Naomi and Sonya in the totally not racist storyline. I'm not saying Sonya is. I'm just saying they're making Sonya racist. And then Naomi says that she is going to make Sonya feel her glow. So Sonya comes out in all leather. My fucking goodness, Sonya. If that is your gear, please wrestle in that all the time. But Sonya says Natty's going to be the ring announcer, and Sonya is going to be the timekeeper. And then it's just it's a double cross, bro. It's a double cross. It's a swerve. And they decide to attack her. And then suddenly Xia Li pulls up the Protector. What in the Emperor Palpatine were these fucking lightning graphics? These look fucking horrible. Fucking goddamn horrible. Just make her Lord Raiden, why don't you? Why would you do this, Vince? Why would you do this? Why would Bruce do that? Why would anybody do this? Why did anybody think this was a good idea? Not saying you shouldn't treat Xia like a potential star, because she has improved quite a bit. Mercedes Martinez's head might disagree, but accidents happen. Xia Li has a potential to be a star, but nope, let's just totally butcher her with this Mortal Kombat bullshit. It's like the new Mortal Kombat movie. Not good. I hope Xia Li can get past this, but that was fucking atrocious. And then she shows up and we get all this. We get Sonya powdering, and then we get we're gonna get a tag match next week, no doubt. And then we get Orton and Riddle with the cast of Jackass Forever. Why in God's name are these guys allowed to still do this? How are they still allowed to do this? Johnny Knoxville was actually pretty terrific in a movie called We Summon the Darkness that I reviewed last week. So, who the fuck is Migos? Who are Migos? Who are they? They're going to be performing at day one. I have no idea who they are. I'm not even being mean. I have no clue who they are. Somebody tell me, please. Toni Storm versus Charlotte. It's a championship contenders match. My God, where have I heard that before? Okay, so this was all over who had the drippiest pie that could go in the other's face. I saw a movie like this once. Let's go Toni chants. Okay, so Toni did some nice wrestling. Charlotte bounced around a bit. Charlotte got upset and started, taking over, stomping her in the corner, right into the post and everything. Didn't break, even though it's outside, and that's it. DQ, and she beats her down and everything. I guess she didn't like Toni's drippy pie right in her face or whatever. That is the second drippiest Aussie pie that I've seen on the internet. Shut up. I'm not going to tell you about the first. You always delete your search history, though. And if you know anything about my search history, I'm sorry. So, the Usos entrance. We have 35 minutes left, by the way. Want you to keep that in mind. Bork talks to Pierce and says, hey, I understand my fine went to charity, and thank you. I had a chance to go out and hunt a moose, a 2,000-pound moose that I just carried on my shoulder like this because I am Bork Laser and I can carry all shit. And he wanted to show him a picture of it on a flip phone. I totally believe that Brock would own a flip phone, by the way. And I named the moose after you to remind me of this and everything, and then ripped the 225 pounds of intestines and guts out of it, because I'm Bork and I can do that. And then, it just basically scares Pierce. And then we get the New Day coming down to the ring. As they come, 25 minutes left. Then we go to break. RK Bro make their entrance with 20 minutes left. And then we have RK Bro versus the Usos versus the New Day, where the hashtag was best tag team, like Chris Benoit and a Bowflex. Or Benoit, Nancy, and Daniel with a, phone cord and a pillow. Or like Kerry Von Erich and a motorcycle. Or like no, not going to say that. Like David Von Erich and Mike Von Erich in a sleeping bag. Kerry Von Erich and having proper shoes. Maybe Whitney and Bobby Christina and bathtubs. Okay, pretty much just offended every goddamn person in the world here. So yeah, Kofi pins one of the Usos after a bit. Can you tell I didn't care about this show? It wasn't a bad match. I just didn't care. Because the Usos took the pin again. Whatever. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retland. I'll see you soon.